Now that we understand more about what permissions are set for the user that owns a file or directory, the group that owns that file or directory, and all others that wish to interact with it, now let's discuss how we change ownership. Perhaps we need to change which user owns the file or which group owns the file. In this case, we have other commands to do that. First, we'll take a look at the chown command. The chown command, short for change owner, is used in order to change the user that owns a file. This command can also be used to change group ownership, but we do have another command to do that as well, namely chgroup. If we were to want to change the ownership of the test file to the new user student, we could use this chown statement. Chown, the new user that we wish to own the file, student, and then the name of the file, test file. If we had a directory, test directory, and wish to change the ownership for it as well as all files contained within, we can use a different option to the chown command. The -R option will allow us to recursively change ownership not only of the directory, but of all files contained within. We can see an example of what a command that does that looks like. Here, using the chown command with a -R and specifying the username student, would change the ownership of the test directory declared by the argument as well as all files contained within. The chown command, as I mentioned, can also be used to change group ownership of files. When we wish to declare a group change as opposed to a user change, we need to declare it as a second field. To distinguish between the two fields of user and group, we separate them with a colon. In the first example, you can see changing only the group and not changing the user by using this technique. Here, we can see that the chown statement leaves no argument for the username to change, but the colon specifies that anything after the colon is a group we wish to use to change ownership for the directory testdir. After this command executes, the testdir, test directory, would then be owned by the group admins. If we wish to both change user and group, we can do those simultaneously. Here you can see an example of the syntax doing exactly that. The chown statement is coupled with both parts. The first part here shows the new user visitor. The second part here, separated by a colon, shows the new group ownership of guests. This allows us to change both the user and the group that own the test directory. And while chown can do both user and groups, it is important to know that we have another command that specifically only manages groups. The chgroup command, chgrp, is much like the chown command, change ownership. However, it only works on group names. That concludes this section. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.